At 2 in the morning, a modern airport terminal in Kuwait, built over years with hundreds of millions of dollars, was reduced to concrete dust in exactly 15 seconds by an Iranian ballistic missile. Thousands of miles away in India, a mother hands over her family's ancestral gold jewelry to a loan officer. It is the absolute last resort to keep her household afloat. Headlines describe these as two separate crises: a kinetic strike in the Gulf and a localized spike in Indian gold loans. In reality, the missile that hit Kuwait ignited a financial fuse that traveled across the ocean. The war over Gulf oil has effectively drained the reserves India needs to maintain its growth. Because world leaders failed to contain this military escalation, the financial safety nets of everyday citizens on the other side of the planet are being torn apart. To understand how we got here, we have to look at this map of the Middle East. It outlines the Greater Israel strategy, showing how US and Israeli leadership are attempting to permanently redraw regional borders and completely dismantle Iran's military capabilities. Iran's response relies on highly capable, precision-guided weaponry. They have positioned their ballistic missile arsenal to directly strike US allied infrastructure and military air bases located across the Gulf. When these missiles fly, the commercial shipping lanes that function as the global economy's bloodstream are completely stalled. Major freight and energy transports are trapped on the open ocean. With those lanes blocked, nations are burning through their emergency oil reserves at an unsustainable rate. Analysts are now issuing warnings that crude oil could soon hit $200 a barrel. At that price point, the cost of moving goods and powering factories becomes too high to sustain. A localized military exchange has effectively paralyzed international manufacturing and transportation. When that oil shockwave hit South Asia, it struck an Indian economy that was already masking severe structural fractures beneath a glossy exterior. This line chart tracks foreign investment in India over the past year. Notice the sudden cliff-edge drop right here. That represents $30 billion being pulled out by foreign portfolio investors in a rapid mass exodus. As that capital vanished, the country's most reliable blue-chip giants, companies like Reliance and HDFC, plummeted down the valuation boards, entirely falling out of the global top 100 rankings. Without foreign capital to anchor it, the national currency went into a historic freefall. The rupee rapidly crashed to an exchange rate of 95 to 97 against the US dollar. A disruption in Middle Eastern oil supply was the exact stress test required to expose the world's fastest-growing economy as highly fragile to outside pressure. Despite these collapsing metrics, government officials are urging citizens to adopt personal austerity, asking them to pause travel and stop buying gold, while refusing to acknowledge the true severity of the crisis. While the public is told to tighten their belts, market data shows a different story for the elite. Reports indicate that several global billionaires moved heavily into short positions on stocks and crypto just before the military strikes began, profiting directly as the market crashed. This chart reveals a harsh reality. On the left, wholesale inflation spikes to a 40-month high. On the right, wage growth remains flat. Shifting data, the blue job hiring line plunges to a 28-month low, intersecting the red gold loan application line spiking by 115%. In a hyper-connected global market, a distant war does not exist. When international leaders gamble with geopolitical stability, the ultimate price is the destruction of everyday financial